Live from the Ram Cave, I'm Joe Torresian, and this is RamView, the July 28th, 2022 edition. Thank you so much for clicking on. So excited to be talking Ram football. I got great responses yesterday. First show back. I hope I didn't bore everyone and that you all come back today. Thank you for those that have clicked on and supported and engaged in conversations. Dave Mitchell, so glad you're out of the FB clank and clink. Sorry, and everything. So thank you for clicking on. Rob Sorge, Steeler fan, and your friends, thank you so much for clicking on. I'm not going to talk the Steelers, but I guess you're here to make sure I don't talk about the Steelers. But anyway, folks, everyone, thank you so much for clicking on and for sharing. Real quick, I've been asked some questions in regards to, well, no, not really about the Rams. I was asked my opinion about Kevin Durant not being traded. Well, this is RamView, and I really don't care. I could care less about the NBA. May it all just move to Russia. I was also asked, what do you think about Ndamukong Suh coming back? And I say, no, not now. Talk to me at Thanksgiving. I'm perfectly happy with him maybe doing an Eric Weddle for us, coming back in December and getting in shape for a January run. I might be good with that, considering where the team maybe with injuries and stuff. So, but right now I'm not really into an Ndamukong thing. I'm also, just as a reminder, telling people, keep an eye on Andrew Whitworth. I just have a feeling that if something bad happens on that offensive line, if there's an injury, something happens to Noteboom down the stretch, not early on, not September, not October, but if something happens in December, Whit looks like he's still in pretty good shape. So keep that one in mind. Also, as camp starts, I want to share what I mean by the Nelson Spruce Award. If you remember back in 2016, it was Sean Mannion and Nelson Spruce in the Rams' first preseason game back in LA. I think it was Lucky Whitehead. Was that his name? I never had a Whitehead that was Lucky. I think that was his name. He returned the kickoff, the Rams' first kickoff back in LA against the Cowboys. Whitehead returned it for a touchdown against the Rams, and the Rams rallied late, and it was Sean Mannion hitting Nelson Spruce. And so Nelson Spruce was the darling, right, for a while. And he didn't make the roster. I think he was on the practice squad, and I think he was cut in 2017. But ever since then, there's always that guy, that rookie that, gets the Nelson Spruce Award. Last year, everyone was talking about Chris Garrett, Jacob Harris. So there's always a Nelson Spruce guy that he's not going to contribute during the regular season, but you want to see what they're going to do in the preseason, and that's, again, why preseason is important. There you go. So tomorrow, I read the Rams are going into pads, which is exciting, again, going into pads, but it doesn't really mean much because, one, the starters don't play in the preseason, and the Rams have the lightest workouts in terms of physicality of any team in the NFL. They've kind of set the standard, but the Rams are in pads tomorrow. Today, Coleman Shelton turns 27. I think we acknowledged it yesterday. And I saw a lot of buzz talking about what we talked about yesterday, the right guard position. Coleman Shelton, Logan Bruss, maybe Bobby Evans, I don't know. But Coleman Shelton turns 27 today. Happy birthday to Coleman Shelton. Also a free agent find by the Rams. Also, yesterday, last ad, on Tutu Atwell. I understand by coming out and saying, now everyone likes Tutu Atwell, that we were honking for him. I kind of want to make clear, just in case I didn't make clear before, is that I think it's too soon to give up on Tutu Atwell. I thought people weren't giving him a fair shake. But I don't think Tutu Atwell is the next Tyreek Hill. I don't know if he's going to be the next Tyler Lockett. I just wanted to express that we need to give him a shot. He really didn't get a fair shot last year. And so I could see all the emails and comments queued up when Tutu, drops his first pass this year or goes out with a separated rib in week 3. I know all the emails are queued up to say, we told you about Tutu Atwell. And you know what? You may be right, but I'm just saying after 10 offensive snaps in 3 games last year, you can't write him off. The guys that brought you a world championship to Los Angeles, they thought enough to draft him 57 overall a few years ago. So you got to give him a shot. And another thing, as we talked about yesterday, and a long time ago on this date, July 28th, 1972, 50 years ago. I was not necessarily a Ram fan then. I saw my first Ram game later that fall. On July 28th, 1972, on this very date, the Rams acquired tackle John Williams from the Baltimore Colts for a first-round draft pick in 1974. I do believe this was a Klosterman deal. And they gave up what turned out to be the 24th pick overall in the draft, who became Roger Carr. Roger Carr was a wide receiver out of Louisiana Tech that played for the Baltimore Colts, and he played 102 games for them from 1974 through 1981. He was All-Pro one year. He caught 254 passes in the air that was largely 3 yards in a cloud of dust. He averaged 18.8 yards per catch, which would make him a superstar nowadays, and he scored 29 touchdowns for the Colts. His breakout year with Burt Jones as his quarterback, who had a good relationship with. Think about this. When you think of Cup and everything else that was done, this was done in 1976, okay? This was done in 1976 with Burt Jones throwing to him before all the rules were lessened in terms of contact with receivers. Roger Carr caught 43 passes for 1,112 yards and 11 touchdowns. That's 25.9 yards per catch. You couldn't even pay this guy nowadays, right? 25.9 yards per catch. And he was the player the Colts drafted, and they got a lot of clicks out of him. Good deal for the Colts, right? As he was the 24th overall selection in 1974. He had a really good career. Well, the Rams got John Williams. He started one game in 1972. And then at 6'3", 256 pounds, from 1973 through 1978, 6 consecutive seasons, John Williams was the Rams starter at right tackle, right? You had Schiavelli and you had Ken Iman, Rick Saw. You had at center, you had Tom Mack at guard. You had Charlie Cowan at left tackle. The Rams were set for so many years. Then later Doug France came in. Later Dennis Hara came in. And so the guy that's often forgot about is John Williams. At 6'3", 256, he started every single game from 1973 through 1978 at right tackle for the Rams. And he was replaced by, drumroll please, Jackie Slater at right tackle in 79. Now, unfortunately, Williams, even though he was getting some playing time, he wasn't starting. He tore a calf muscle, and in November of 79, he was put on the injured list, and he missed on injured reserve, and he missed the Rams' run to the Super Bowl. Just again, another reminder that football is all cruelty. But Williams was a member of the 68 and 1970 Colts. So he went to the Super Bowl twice, and he did get a ring playing for Baltimore in 1970. After the 79 season, he retired, became a dentist in Minneapolis, and he passed away about 10 years ago at the age of 66. And John Williams is just forgotten. He wasn't an all-pro. He wasn't a superstar. He wasn't much of anyone talked about. They quickly forget John Williams. But when you don't have to think about right guard or right tackle for 6 years, that means you've got somebody special. And think about basically since 2016, Rob Havenstein has been entrenched at right tackle for the Rams. And the Rams haven't had to think about Rob Havenstein or right tackle in terms of what are we going to do about this position for 6 seasons, right? We're getting our 7th season of him as a starter this year. Havenstein, though, clicks in at 6'8", 330. So think about how the game has changed. But the last aspect of John Williams is John Williams. The Rams went from John Williams, 73 through 78, to Jackie Slater, 79 through 1994. Now, he played one game in 95 for the St. Louis Rams, but that was more ceremonial because he was done. But literally from 1979 through 1994, Jackie Slater had the job. So the Rams literally went 22 seasons with right tackle not being a concern. He went from John Williams to Jackie Slater. And it was on this day, 50 years ago, they made that trade, which you think a number 1 draft pick for an offensive lineman, you wouldn't do it. But you know what? Don Klosterman, right? The Rams made a great deal. And we should appreciate right now what we have in Rob Havenstein. Literally, I think this past year listed as the number 9 tackle in the NFL overall. And I think that puts him in the top 5, top 3, top 2 of right tackles in the NFL. And it's not the glamour position. It's not left tackle, but the Rams have been pretty fortunate with what they've had in those positions. All right, so cool. I'm Joe Torresian, and this is RamView, and you can catch us on here on YouTube. You could also catch us on Spotify. Please check us out on those avenues. I'm joetorresian.com. I write books, and I also pastor a church. I went through a whole litany yesterday about where I was this summer working summer camps for young people, and you can ask me questions about that later. My books are on Amazon. Tangent Dreams and Temple City Company of the Ages are 2 of my popular football books. If you could check those out, I'd be greatly appreciative. All right. So coming back from the commercial here, let's think about this. I want to talk about the Rams cornerback room because we're hearing a lot, right? Okay, Jalen Ramsey's a lock. Okay, boom, we're done with Jalen Ramsey. Let's set him over here. But the guys the Rams drafted, Darian Kendrick and Jacoby Bryant, we're hearing multiple things that these guys are playing really well. Every day you hear something new about these guys. Now, Darian Kendrick was 6th round, 213th overall out of Georgia. He started at Clemson. He had some personal issues, cleaned up his act, but it really hurt him in the draft. He goes 6 foot 194. He's wearing number 6. Keep an eye on him. And keep an eye on Jacoby Bryant, who's now going by Kobe Bryant, from what I'm told. He was drafted 4th round, 142 out of South Carolina State. Now, he's super athletic, 5'10", 180. He's wearing number 14. Hard to believe that these guys might not be on the active roster, right? Something's going to have to get hurt. One of them is going to get hurt to not be on the active roster. They're playing really well. Coming back to the Rams, you have Robert Rochelle, 6'2", 195, who impressed last year enough to get on the field. So people like Robert Rochelle, lanky and rangy and athletic. And also David Long. And David Long's 5'11", 196. Robert Rochelle is 6'2", 195. That is great size for a receiver these days. And for a cornerback these days. And David Long, 5'11", 196, wearing number 22. Long took some heat middle of the season last year, but he was fantastic in the postseason. His coverage rating from PFF was pushing 70. He was fantastic. And so the other odd thing in the room is Troy Hill. Troy Hill is 31, okay? 5'11", 183. The Rams know him. They brought him back for a reason. But it's really interesting. Hill's making 1.5 this year, 1.5 rocks. Long is making 965, and he's in his walk year. Now, I know why the Rams brought Hill back, right? We understand experience, knows the system, blah, 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 and everything. But if Kendrick and Bryant do develop faster than anyone thought, they do like Robert Rochelle. Grant Haley's on the roster, but Grant Haley's Grant Haley. Okay, we know what Grant Haley is, okay? It really could come down to, in the cornerback room, Hill or Long. Now, Long is in his walk year. Hill's a free agent after this year. But my feeling is that you need to look at this as the sense that the Rams invested in David Long. And if they can get him to go to one next level, maybe, even if they don't keep him next year, they do get, guess what, a comp pick if he walks as a free agent at the end of this year. If he has, and the reports are, they're expecting Long to play really well this year. If Long has a great year, a really solid year, he signs a free agent contract somewhere else, the Rams get a compensatory pick for him. Meanwhile, Troy Hill is 31, okay? The Rams got his best football. If the Browns wanted to keep him, they wouldn't have given him back to the Rams so cheap. Out of 116 cornerbacks rated by the PFF this past year, Troy Hill came in at 74, right? Now, David Long Jr. came in at 70, but David Long Jr. is what, 25 years old, 26 years old? And Long played so much better in the playoffs, and he graded better than Hill in coverage during the regular season, and he was significantly better, even though Hill didn't play in the postseason. Hill's coverage rating was 53. In the postseason, David Long's coverage rate, his rating was like at 69%. that's a starter. That's a guy that can play. Now, Long is more of a boundary corner. Hill is more of a slot. But I think the Rams have some guys on the roster who could take that spot. And so my feeling is that even though Troy Hill is back, football is all cruel, and it's not uncommon for a guy brought back at a very cheap price to maybe get cut, right? To maybe get cut. It's not out of the realm of possibility, or get dealt. He has shown age. He's 31. He showed age in 2020 when he was with the Rams, and the Browns gave up on him pretty quick. So my feeling is that keep an eye. Again, this is why preseason is important. Keep an eye on Darian Kendrick and Kobe Bryant. Keep an eye on Robert Rochelle and David Long, because if those guys are balling, if those guys are playing, Troy Hill might be the odd guy out, right? All right, cool. Hey, we're hitting the 16-minute mark, and this is where I wanted to bail. Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to talk with you about Ram football. More and more as the days go on, I'm still getting my feet wet in terms of being out for 2 weeks. I am curious about the Rams schedule this year. We know what it is. And I think Ram fans should expect a lot of pain this year because, one, they're the Super Bowl champs. Two, they're playing division champions. They're playing an incredible schedule. And so instead of jumping ship like people were doing in November, remember everyone was jumping ship in November. Stafford sucks. This guy sucks. Everyone sucks. I suck. You suck. Everybody sucks, right? Ram fans should be a little more sober-minded and understand there's going to be some hard hits. The game doesn't matter. Lose the game to Buffalo. I can live with it. But you don't want to lose, I believe it's Monday night in Frisco with a new quarterback, right? You don't want to lose there. You want to win your division games. You can lose to Tampa. You could lose to Denver on Christmas Day. That's other conference. What you don't want to do is lose those games that are going to hurt you in your conference. And first, you got to win your division. The Rams should go 6-0. I think the 49ers are making a mistake in getting rid of Jimmy G now. I don't know if Trey Lance is ready. If Trey Lance was ready, there wouldn't be so much talk about this. But even if he is all that he's cracked up to be, you got to understand Trey Lance is going to need half a season to get his feet under him. And do you think Arizona's better? I don't think Arizona's better. So the Rams need to go 6-0, and we're not talking about Seattle. All right, cool. Hey, we've hit the 1751 mark. Thank you so much for clicking on. I'm Joe Torresian. Hit like, leave a comment in the box, and share as we build our footprint here with RamView on YouTube and on Spotify. God bless. Take care. We'll talk to you tomorrow.